But when you open your own license of it or when you open your evaluation version, this is exactly what you'll see. And we're going to go ahead and select New Interactivity. And very briefly, for those of you who are new to Raptivity, let me go ahead and give you a brief overview of what we're seeing here, just so you're familiar with it when you do start working with it on your own. So down the left-hand side here, these are the different ways that you can navigate and locate interaction models. So you can look at them by pack, by category. You can also view all interaction models, so regardless of the pack they're found in, you can see all of them. But there's actually a new feature here that I'll show you. We'll go back to all packs, and it has to do with how we can view our templates. So let's just, for instance, select here the first pack, Essential Pack. You'll notice that they're broken out by category, but now we have a new little box right here that says Show All Interactions. So it's different from this one over here, All Interaction Models. This shows all of them in the entire library. But here, if we say Show All Interactions, it will show them all specific to the pack that we're in. So instead of having to go through by category, we can see them all listed out this way. So that's one of the small little enhancements there, and that's there for all the packs. Going back here to the left-hand side, we also have some instructional design theories called out. So if you wanted to, you could center your training around a learning theory. And what we've done is we've matched templates to each of these steps, so it's really easy to follow. But let's go ahead and start sharing the new features of Raptivity. And because we have so many packs that have new features, what we're going to do this morning is we are going to briefly look at a handful of packs and templates. So we won't necessarily be customizing a template from beginning to end, but I will be sharing many of the upgrades and enhancements with you, and also some practical applications of where you might use them. So the first template that we're going to look at here is from the Essential Pack, which we're already in. And we're going to work quickly here with a template that we're all familiar with. We're going to work with flashcards. And because we're familiar with them, we can focus on the customization, not so much the functionality. So we're just simply going to select it. And a really great feature of Raptivity is its consistency in how we customize each of the template. So it doesn't matter which template we choose, which pack we're in, we're always met with this wizard, which allows us to start our basic creation process. And a couple of the new features that we mentioned are found right here in this wizard. And in the Essential Pack, these were here with our last upgrade, but now they're available in all the packs that were included with the 6.6 release. And those are these two top options here. Start with the blank template. So as we mentioned earlier, and just as it sounds, you'll literally start with a blank template. The background will be gone, the text, images, you'll have a white background and one white card. And then the right to left alignment. So again, if you are going to be working with the language that reads from right to left, excuse me, I apologize for my voice. So if you're working with the language that reads right to left, you can set that default and it will automatically align that way. But let's go ahead here and just move through the wizard. We'll click Next. So you can see here we can set some of the other parameters if we wanted to by moving through the wizard. But I'm going to go ahead and click Finish. And we'll go to the Detailed Customization, where we can really modify and personalize the template. Now, our user interface hasn't changed with this release. The customization is the same. The layout of the windows is the same. So we still have our navigation buttons running across the top of the screen. We have our workspace here in the lower half. We still have our notes field here on the right. So that is all the same. And again, since we want to just focus on the features, and also we're going to be moving pretty quickly through a handful of templates, I'm not going to do major changes to the look and feel of the template, but just because we're not doing that today, please do know that all of the components you're seeing can be changed, from the background, the text, the colors, the flashcards, the flip side. everything you're seeing is still totally customizable and in still the same way. And that hasn't changed. I'm going to go ahead here and just change our view so we can see all of our template. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right in here to a few of the upgrades. So as you probably know, this workspace up here is a live workspace. So we can just simply move the components around and change the look and feel of our template. We can slide the parts around so visually it looks the way that we want it to. But notice as we're clicking on the various components, we get this properties box that pops up, and this lets us set the placement and some of the parameters here. But you'll be happy to know that now we can say don't show this again, and this feature has been one of the most commonly asked for as well. This little pop-up box can get a little tedious because it's always appearing. You can just simply say don't show this again and close out of it, and now when you're working with your components, that box won't be there. So you can visually see your entire workspace. And if you wanted to reactivate it, you just simply go up to Global Settings, Show Property Dialog, and it will be back. So that's not a permanent removal of it, just for your comfort as you're creating. So that, again, you can just click the Don't Show and your properties box won't appear. Now, another new feature has to do with removing, rearranging, or copying an existing part of the interaction model. So in this particular example here, when we're in our input parameter, our flashcard collection, and we have 5 cards set up, it used to be that if you wanted to change the number of cards, what Raptivity would do by default is delete the last card listed. So we have 5 cards. Over here in the left, we have our 5 cards listed out. So if we were to say we only wanted to have 4, automatically it's just going to remove the last one. We didn't have any say in the matter. But now you can actually come down here to the flashcard collection, and let's say that you wanted to remove maybe a different card. You didn't want to remove the bottom one. Now what you can do is you can right-click, and we have a couple of options available to us. We can just simply remove it, so we can delete. So that's really helpful. So you don't have to recreate any cards when something is deleted that you didn't want. You can get really specific which card you want to remove. Or let's say that you formatted one card with the text style, the size, the color, etc. that you want to have on all of the cards. And instead of having to individually customize each card, what we can actually do, let's say that flashcard 1 is the perfect setup. We want that template for all the other cards. You could simply right-click on it, and now you can click on Duplicate. And notice that we have an identical card to card number 1 with all of the same components on the front side and the reverse side. So now your formatting is done. You would just need to change the text or the image to match this card. But again, that's one way of using that duplicate feature, so you don't have to format all of them individually. So again, just by right-clicking, we can have our delete option or duplicate. Now let's go to another